The Senegal team was so mad that the penalty was even called that
they stormed off.
They stormed off the pitch.
Players.
And then one of their most historic players,
Sadio Mane.
He made everyone from his team come back out. They had gone down the tunnel.
Wow.
They were in protest. There were fans fighting in the stands. There was a lot going on. Welcome to another edition of My Mom Calls It Soccer. I'm Michelle, and I am a disgruntled Liverpool fan.
I'm Chase. I call it football, and I am also a disgruntled Barça fan.
And I'm Grandma, and I am kind of looking at it from both sides, Real Madrid fan.
So kind of a week for all of us.
Yeah.
So not a lot to talk about on our teams that any of us are super excited about, probably. No. So we're going to hop right into the most exciting
Rashford
thing.
Got a goal. I'm happy
Rashford
about that.
got a goal for Barça. Do you want to go ahead? Varsa. Visca Barça. And I just combined it to Varsa.
That's a slander term. Varsa.
It is?
Yeah, because of VAR.
Oh.
So they call him Barça.
Oh, sorry. I didn't mean it that way. I just am old and I put my words together. Okay. Well, before we hop off of us being disgruntled with our teams, should we do one thing we loved this week and one thing we hated?
Yeah, we can do that.
Okay. So you go first.
One thing I like this week is that we got through the round of 16 in the Copa del Rey. I'm sure you know what I hated. But
the loss today?
Really, really bad loss today.
Yeah.
We didn't even play bad for most of the game.
No, you didn't.
Their goalkeeper, he only plays well against us. And we hit the crossbar, and Danny Olmo thinks it's funny to shoot it over the crossbar as well. Yeah. And then we just started passing it out of bounds then at the later stages. So
it's over. Time to move on. All right. What was one thing you loved and one thing you hated?
Okay, the thing that I hated is that my team, Real Madrid, just couldn't seem to accept their coach's coaching, and he is now gone, Xabi Alonso.
Okay.
And so they have a new manager. And the thing that I love is that they did finally win yesterday after having lost earlier in the week in the Copa del Rey.
Which knocked them out, correct?
Yes.
They're knocked out of the Copa del Rey.
So if you lose in the Copa del Rey, you're probably knocked out.
Well, I don't. Some of these tournaments have two legs. That's not a completely stupid question, right?
I guess.
Don't some of them have two legs? I'm not making that up.
Not really. Not until the semis.
Oh, okay. Well, anyway, for those of you who are dumb like me, they're knocked out. One thing I hated this week was that Liverpool continues to play with my emotions, and I think they're going to win, and then they don't, and they draw, and I feel like we've had draw after draw after draw. Yeah, but still, I mean, I don't know. It's when,
You're
others
still top
are
of the table.
I am, but now you got a 1 point lead. So
and it's just like with Arsenal, who drew this week, and everybody underneath had an opportunity to move up.
Mm-hmm.
We didn't do anything. Yeah, Aston Villa lost. Mm-hmm. I don't know. It's just kind of discouraging.
Opportunity to move up in you?
Huh?
Liverpool? Opportunity to move up?
If we had won, we would have moved up a little bit. We would have had more points.
I mean, you're not in the title race, though.
I know you say that, but we're not mathematically. We are not. I know we should be focused on keeping fourth, but it would be better to be third.
Man United's creeping up on you.
I know. So I'm not happy about that.
Yeah.
But anyway. But we do have Nick and Emily are Man United fans, and I'm sure they were happy. And we're going to talk about that because it was a derby, and we'll talk about that a little bit later. One thing I loved is that for the first time ever, I watched the AFCON tournament. I did not know it was a thing because I'm new to all of this, but the African Cup of Nations tournament has been super exciting, and today was the final. We're going to talk about that more in a little bit, but that was one thing I loved is it was a really fun tournament to watch. So it was exciting games.
Yeah.
So exciting matches.
Matches.
Okay. All right. So let's move in and let's talk about AFCON. because we just finished watching the final, but I thought all of the football played was super exciting, and the game today was very exciting, and you didn't get to watch it. That is one thing that is hard, it was only on BN Sports, and I bought a month pass for Sling TV to be able to watch AFCON. But it would be great if it was easier to find going forward for their tournament. But the game today was exciting. It was super competitive. It was dramatic. There was blood. There was bandaging on the field. There was a penalty, and then a missed penalty kick by one of Real Madrid's former players? Or
current players.
Current player who plays for Morocco.
Yeah. He tried to chip it.
Yeah, he tried to do something fancy. What's that called?
A Panenka.
A Panenka kick for a penalty kick.
Yep.
But he kicked it right at the goalie who caught it. But the Senegal team was so mad that the penalty was even called that they stormed off. They stormed off the pitch.
Players.
Oh, wow.
They weren't going to be out there for the penalty kick. And then one of their most historic players, Mane.
Yep, Sadio Mane.
He made everyone from his team come back out to play. They had gone down the tunnel.
Oh, wow.
They were in protest. There was fighting in the in the stands. Fans fighting in the stands. There was a lot going on. And the guy with the big gash in his head for Morocco toward the end of the game. So it ends 0-0 because the guy from Real Madrid, what's his name?
Brahim Diaz.
He misses the pen. He kicks it right to the goalie. So there is extra time, and in extra time, Senegal scores. But as the game it's raining the whole time. It was a great goal. It's raining the entire match, and this guy that I don't know who it was, but who had the giant cut on his head, because he collided with a Senegal player. They were going up for a header, and they came out and they wrapped his head in all this bandage, and it's raining, and toward the end of the game, there's just blood coming out of his bandage. It was dramatic, and it was exciting. So Senegal ended up scoring and held them off and won. I was hoping it would go to penalty kicks because I like that when it goes to,
Pens.
Is it five?
Yeah.
5 penalty kicks?
5 at first, but if it can keep going.
It can keep going if it's tied. So anyway, it was super exciting, and I am really excited watching. Both of those teams will be in the World Cup, and so I thought it was very exciting to get to see them play. I think the brand of football that they play is super exciting. It's very fast paced. It's very physical. And so I think it will be fun to watch those teams play over here in the World Cup on the world stage against teams that play in different areas of the world. And I just think it's exciting. So looking forward to that.
While you're talking about blood, I think it was an Everton player that caught cleats in his face. And it ripped his forehead.
Was that today?
Today, yeah.
Because Everton beat Villa, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, and there was a lot of blood.
Yeah. Those headwinds bleed a lot, I know.
And it was like they just smeared some stuff on him, but no bandage really, and play went on.
Yeah. So it just continued on.
Really nasty when it happened, yeah.
It is interesting because I do think that is a criticism you hear about soccer players is that people who don't know a lot about the sport that think that they flop and that they're soft. But it is something, matches that we saw this week that it was pretty
It can be pretty
rough.
gruesome.
Yeah. So congratulations to Senegal. Our condolences to Morocco. But it was a great match, and we look forward to seeing both of those teams here in the United States for the World Cup. Now it's time for us to talk about our reasons that people should start watching soccer now to get ready for the World Cup. So each week, each of us is giving one reason. It could be something traditional, it could be something off the wall that just means something to us, but a reason why you ought to start watching the sport now to get ready for the World Cup. So Chase, what is your reason for this week?
I'd say, since after watching that Senegal game, the goals. Because there are, most of the time, you will see an amazing goal being scored, either from brilliant play or from individual brilliance and things like that. Most of the time, it's superstars who are taking those shots, but sometimes it could even be like a defender taking a shot from 50 yards out and
Yes.
it goes in goal. It's really fun to watch. I'd say another reason would be the occasional high-scoring games where you
Okay.
get like a 4-3 or a 5-4 or even like a 3-2. Those games are very fun to watch. You'll see they're very open. There's many chances and stuff. We're getting into an era of football where it is more high-scoring
Okay.
now. There's less 0-0 games, 1-0 games. And I think the average score in the Premier League is like a 2-1. So
Okay.
you do see goals being scored on both ends. Now you're seeing more high-scoring games and things like that.
And do you think that will translate to World Cup play? Like, do you think on the international level there's more scoring going on as well?
I don't know, because the teams play very careful. Because, especially in the knockout rounds, you don't want to concede, so you're going to play careful football. But, I mean, even in the last World Cup final, we saw 3-3.
Yes.
So that could be a good point, but I'm not sure if in the
Okay.
World Cup there'd be high-scoring, multiple high-scoring games, but there probably will be some, I'd say.
Grandma, what's your one thing to start watching now?
Well, I would say that with a lot of sports, the season doesn't last all that long. Like in American football.
Basketball.
But American football, they play 17 games?
Yeah. Especially if
start
your team's
watching-
knocked out the playoffs.
Right,
So.
yeah. So then you're left with nothing to watch. But you can watch football/soccer, and it's 38 weeks long for a season, and we are barely past the midway point of this season.
Yep.
Yeah.
So there's still a lot of soccer to watch, and then you watch that and then follow it up with FIFA, and by the time the World Cup is over, it'll be time for the
It'll be
next
time
season to start.
again. And besides just watching their match weeks all along, again, they play cups.
Right.
So the Carabao Cup is going on, the FA Cup in English football. For your top teams of all of the European leagues, they are playing in the Champions League.
Right.
So there's always things going on. There's
Always
a lot
something
of
to
games.
watch.
Yes.
Always something
Yep.
to watch.
That's a great reason. My reason is to get yourself ready for the World Cup, and the fever that we are going to have here in the United States is to start watching club teams and get used to the fans, because it is one of the greatest things about this sport that I have learned to love is the fandom. And fans, whether it is for their club team or their country, they are so into it. They are so excited. The chants, the songs, all the things. Just watching today with the final for AFCON, the Moroccan fans and the Senegal fans, they were dressed in certain things. It was very easy to identify which team they were supporting, and they were in it and a big part of the entire environment. And it is one of the things that struck us when we went to watch when we watched Argentina play, and they played against Ecuador. And the fans that were in Houston, Texas, to watch those two teams play. But then also when we watched the United States play Guatemala. And there were so many Guatemala fans in St. Louis, Missouri. And that fandom, it is just something that I don't see in other sports of that country really supporting that team like that, and the excitement and the fun. And you can start to get a taste of that even if you're watching clubs, if you're watching Premier League or you're watching Ligue 1 or any of that. The supporters are really into it, and it makes the whole sport so much more fun. And you're going to see that on display in the World Cup when those teams are here in the United States, in Mexico, and Canada. So that's my reason. Now it's time for us to dive into one of our ongoing series, Messy on the Pitch. And today we're going to talk about two teams who just played each other in a derby.
So let's start with the headline. Yesterday's derby between Manchester City and Man United was won by Man United at Old Trafford. They have new manager, new energy, but it's the same old rivalry that never behaves, and the red side of the city is talking today.
This result hits harder because of the history. United is the legacy club, decades of trophies, was the first English team to win the treble before, and then Man City became, I believe, the second team to win the treble in the Premier League.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah.
So Man
United is the first English team to win the treble, and then I think Man City became the second team to win the treble
second
in
English
England.
team to win the treble. Wow.
Sir Alex Ferguson managed them for about like 20 years as well, winning many Premier Leagues, dominating, and was the reason they had more Premier Leagues than Liverpool. Which at that time was the most, but now you guys are tied for first.
Yes.
City spent years in their shadow. Then ownership changed, investment poured in, and City flipped the script. Obviously, I mean, they won Premier Leagues before that. They won about 2. But when Pep Guardiola came in, everything changed. Modern powerhouse, deep squads, and constant titles. They won 4 in a row, which beat Manchester United's 3 in a row that they won in 2007, 2008, and 2009.
Oh.
They're just constantly competing for things.
It is a rivalry, but like Manchester United and Liverpool is a huge rivalry.
Yes.
And Man City didn't used to be, but because
Man City used to be in they used to be in the lower divisions.
Okay.
They were not, they were like not even a bottom feeder club because they weren't even in the bottom of the Premier League.
So they were a division down.
They were a division down.
But
maybe even 2 divisions down.
Ownership changed, invested money in it.
Yeah, I think it was the Saudis that took them over. And so they just started pouring in money on transfers, new assistants, new everything.
So now it's a big rivalry. And Manchester City is in second place in the Premier League. Is that correct? Second or third?
Second. Aston Villa could have took over third, even if they drew, but they didn't.
They didn't. And Man United is in fifth. So it was an important game. Man City needed to win that game, but they did not.
Yeah. But fast forward, United is still dealing with fan frustration over ownership, and they just recently sacked their coach, Ruben Amorim. That usually means chaos, but in a derby, chaos can work. City had the control, United had urgency, emotion, and nothing to lose. And that's why derbies ignore form and shred predictions.
So derbies, you just never know what's going to happen because it's a rivalry.
By the way, United dominated the whole game.
Yes.
It could have been like 7-0.
Yes.
So it was insane.
Yeah, I watched because they had a couple of goals. Didn't they have a couple of goals in the first half that were offside or they got called back? They just seemed...
Controversial offsides as well.
Yeah, they just seemed so much more aggressive than City did. Yeah. And I think City had 1 goal on target. Did I hear that right?
1 shot on target.
Okay, yeah, 1 shot on target.
It was from, I think, a defender. So.
Okay, yeah. Bad
it was
game
really
for them.
bad. They kept Haaland quiet. It just shushed. He got hooked in like the 80th minute. So it was complete dominance, which is insane because it's an interim manager that is taking control of United right now. So he's not even the permanent one.
Who is the interim manager? Is he a youth coach or
no? I forgot what his name was, but I think he's a United legend. It's something like maybe Michael Carrick, I think.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Okay, so it was history versus money, control versus chaos. Same city, completely different stories, and the pitch, it's still messy.
And now it's time to check out another country that will be playing in the upcoming World Cup. Today, our Where in the World Cup segment is Senegal.
And Senegal is located in West Africa, right on the Atlantic Ocean. It is known for its coastline, vibrant cities, and strong traditions of music, art, and community. Dakar, the capital, is one of the cultural centers of the region.
Football is huge in Senegal, and the national team is called the Lions of Teranga. Teranga means hospitality, but on the field, they're fast, physical, and fearless. Senegal first won the Africa Cup of Nations in 2021, a historic moment for the country, and they just won it again today with their star player, Sadio Mane, picking up a player of the tournament. He was amazing, scored in the semifinal against Egypt. They're known for athleticism, organization, and belief. And that belief really showed today.
It did.
Their most famous player is Sadio Mane, who was a star at Liverpool, winning the Premier League and Champions League, and then he later played for Bayern Munich, which he had some controversy there.
Oh, okay.
And then left for Al Nassr. But he's one of Africa's most respected players, and he's a symbol of national pride. So when you watch Senegal, you're watching confidence, intensity, and a team that knows it belongs on the world stage. And you'll see them soon.
Yeah, you will see them soon. Big win today to win AFCON, to defeat Morocco, who I think was the favorite team to win, and we're hosting it.
I think that is the first time an Africa team has won the AFCON in North Africa that isn't from North Africa.
Okay.
Yeah, I think every time AFCON has been hosted in North Africa, it's been a North African team that's won it.
That has won.
Because, it's practically like a home advantage for the North African team. Just North African fans just flood the whole stadium. So
yeah, but there were a lot of Senegal fans
They really
there.
showed up.
And it was super exciting, an exciting win, and we're happy for them, and I'm excited to see what they do in the World
Senegal
Cup.
has a lot of talent as well. I think they'll be good in the World Cup. They could be a dark horse for it. They have some really good players out there. There's this one who plays for Everton. His name's, I think, Injai, something like that. But he's really good and might get picked up by a big team soon.
We learned a little bit about Senegal. We look forward to seeing them in the World Cup. We haven't done one in a little while, but we got back to doing our speed matchups, and we have a speed matchup this week with our friend John Gray, but we changed things up just a little bit, and instead of matching John with a team, we matched John with a player. Let's take a look and see how that went. Hello and welcome to our latest version of the speed matchup. Today we have with us John Gray, and we're doing things a little bit different today. Instead of matching John with what we think is his perfect team, we're going to match him with what we think is his perfect player. And then we're going to talk about that player's club team and country team to help him get ready to watch the World Cup.
Sounds good.
All right, John, what's your experience with soccer?
Absolutely nothing.
Nothing.
Michelle.
He is our perfect candidate. We are trying to bring new fans into the game. You're exactly who we're looking
Awesome.
for. John, tell us a little bit about yourself. I believe you are running in your first political campaign.
Yeah, so I'm originally from Marshfield, Missouri, born and raised. Went to high school there, then went to Drury University, got my undergraduate degree there and my master's. Worked in the nonprofit sector for a little bit, and then now I'm back here running for state representative in Webster County, which is District 129. So yeah.
Perfect. All right, everybody get out and vote in November.
That's right.
For John Gray.
Yeah.
All right, so John, are you ready to do this?
I guess.
You're going to have 5 fairly rapid fire questions.
Okay.
You're going to answer them to the best of your ability, and then we're going to pick who we think is your perfect player.
Sounds good.
All right, when you're playing a game or watching, what feels more like you? Running things, keeping it calm, or changing things, trying something bold, mixing it up?
Mixing it up,
Okay.
for sure.
What do you value more? Being reliable, showing up on time, or having personality and being creative?
Personality and creativity.
Okay. Your perfect highlight reel would be a really smart interception or perfect positioning or a wild shot or something that is absolutely TikTok worthy.
Probably something wild, something
Okay.
out there for sure.
How do you feel about risk? Do you like calculated risks or are you into chaos?
Somewhere in between, I'd probably lean towards calculated a little bit more.
And which role sounds more like you? The organizer, the calm one, the person holding everything together, or the spark, the wild card?
Spark.
All right. His archetype is the creator for the type of player. These are the 3 possible players. Who do you think of those 3 is John's perfect match?
So I think the perfect match for one of those 3 would be Rafinha. He just recently came off of scoring 2 goals on a final, so he's on fire recently. You could watch him on ESPN Plus. He plays for Barcelona and he's Brazilian. But I think the second best option would be Phil Foden. He's also been on fire. He's been scoring a lot of goals in the Premier League, and you can watch him just on normal TV.
And Phil
so like
Foden
NBC,
plays for
Man City, and he's English.
Manchester City.
Okay, yeah.
Okay, and he plays for England.
Yeah.
Is his World Cup team. Not shocking that Chase suggested Rafinha because he is a Barcelona fan. That
Okay,
is his
yeah.
team.
Okay.
But he is super fun to watch. So Barcelona and Brazil is always good in the World Cup,
Yeah,
right? And
kind
then
of.
Phil Foden with Man City,
Yeah.
Manchester City, who is at the top of the table. Are they in second right
They're in
now?
second, yeah.
In the Premier League.
Okay.
And then plays for England, who also should have a good run
Yeah.
in the World Cup. So we need you to follow us on our social media.
Will do.
Subscribe to our YouTube channel.
Okay.
And then we will give you things to follow along, and we're going to turn you into a soccer fan.
Perfect.
All
Sounds
right.
good.
Very good.
Awesome.
Thanks so much. We actually gave John 2 players. Chase couldn't decide between the 2. And we gave him 2 players who are both on club teams that experienced a loss this week. So we'll see how it goes from here. But we'll be keeping John updated and, again, hoping to help him become a fan of the game.
Well,
and
I mean, no, because one of those players didn't even play today.
Rafinha.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah, because he's injured.
Yeah.
Oh, Rafinha's injured?
Well, they're taking it as like a precaution.
Precaution.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. But his team lost today. Okay. Rafinha didn't lose today,
Yeah.
but his team lost today.
Yeah. Yes.
But he didn't play because he was hurt. Anyway, regardless, it's a rough week to get into it because Phil Foden lost.
Yeah.
Rafinha didn't play, but we're still going to work to get John connected, and both of those players will be playing in the World Cup on their respective teams. Rafinha for Brazil and Phil Foden for England.
Yeah.
We'll keep trying to match people up, and if you are watching this and do not have a team to follow or a player to follow, let us know. We'd love to match you up with one. That's really all we have for this week. A couple of things just to throw out there. I believe Chase said the women's AFCON is getting ready to start.
In March.
In
yeah.
March. So that's something to look forward to. Also, the Women's FA Cup is going on right now. So you can check that out. That'll be all the women's teams that are in the English Football League. So lots of football going on for men and women. We'll continue to keep you updated and continue to get you ready for the World Cup. And we look forward to seeing you next week. Goodbye.